What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the LA Soccer Hub Show. My name is Gio Garcia. Today's Tuesday, July 20th. And every Tuesday, we're talking LAFC. We're talking black and gold. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They've been impressive so far these last 3 games. Kim Moon has been an exciting player. Every single game, he gets better and better. Carlos Vela got a goal. So we're going to get into that. But before, let me introduce my guests. We got Juan Pablo Marquez and LAFC Hawaii. How you guys doing?
I'm good, man. LAFC won, another win. I win at the bank. So it's all good vibes right now.
Hawaii, how you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. 3 in a row. So hey, we're excited.
Yeah, no, 3 in a row, and it's looking good. JP, I know you and I both went to the game. You got to cover your first game with me. Let's talk about your experience and how that was.
Yeah, I mean, I have the press call here. It's a good memento, but yeah, no, it was definitely a new experience. Meeting, a lot of other journalists, seeing how they carry themselves. What the experience is like. It's a great view. I think I loved my view. It was in the corner and at the bottom, so I just felt like I was looking over everybody, and it was an amazing experience. So yeah, can't wait to get back into the media room and experience it again.
Yeah, no, I mean, you did an awesome job. Let's see, Hawaii. What's the time difference from LA to Hawaii? And where in Hawaii are you?
I'm in Oahu.
Okay.
Yeah, Oahu. It's so it's 4:00 here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're behind by 3 hours.
Yeah, the Euro games are like really early, so yeah, it's nice, man. When we lived in California, I lived in California for a long time, right? 20 plus years. But my wife is from here. So when we had our daughter, we knew we were going to move here. So it's good, man. All the games are pretty early for me. Like I'm originally from Tennessee. So when I'm there trying to watch LAFC, it's at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes even 11. So to be here and then be 2 o'clock games to 4 o'clock games, I like it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Have you been to an LAFC game yet?
So no, I haven't been to a match. I've only watched all of them on TV. I've never missed a match ever.
Nice.
But 3 games into LAFC, my wife was super pregnant, and Simon kicked that ball and scored that last minute goal, and we jumped up and yelled, and she was like, "Oh, I think I'm about to have the baby." So. We couldn't go that year, and then the next year we just had our kid, right? So, and then after that we were traveling. We traveled in an RV for a few years. So, yeah, man, I haven't been able to catch a match. Then with COVID hitting, but when everything opens up, the deal is my wife and I are going to make 2 trips a year to Cali, and nice. I'm going to catch games. Yeah, that's sort of in the deal to move here.
Hey, look, yeah, you're in a beautiful island. I don't think any of us would complain, but I think at the other thing to that is your loyalty to being there, and also like knowing so much about the team, and being engaged about the team, and that's what's the amazing thing about sports. That's the amazing thing about football, right? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily matter where you're at in the world, essentially. That you can still follow the team, and obviously with today's technology, with the Twitter Spaces. And everything like that. It's pretty cool because I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Even when we were traveling in the RV, we would be in the middle of nowhere, but we would go for game day and go to a actual resort so I could have Wi-Fi, watch the match, and then we would get back on the road again. So I'm dedicated, man. Look, I love football, and I looked for a team in the MLS for a long time. So when LAFC came around, it was like, okay, this is my team. And so, I just had to put that commitment in. If I'm going to be away from California, I got to put that commitment in and watch and keep up with everything. So, I look forward to game days,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's amazing. So you're definitely gonna have to let us know whenever you and your family come into town, so that way we can all meet up. I know JP and I were trying to meet up with some of the guys from Twitter Spaces, but I think we got there a little too soon. And then some of the guys got stuck in traffic or something like that, right, JP?
Yeah. We met LAFC Dad. That's his Twitter handle, and then Justin
Yeah, just
But yeah, so 2 others came later, right when we went to go get our media passes. But yeah, it was
really
definitely
good
fun.
guys, though, aren't they?
Yeah, it was definitely fun talking to them about
Yeah.
the team and everything.
Yeah, and I mean the pregame festivities were amazing. They're always great. I know JP, that was your first time experiencing the Christmas tree lane. I forget what the exact name is, but yeah, I'm surprised you haven't experienced that before.
Yeah, every time I go, I get there like right 5 minutes before the game, so everything's already wrapped up. Everybody's already in their seats. So yeah, and then like the last times I went to like an MLS pregame, it was Chivas USA, and I was a kid, so it doesn't really, I can't tailgate, I can't freely experience what the adults do and stuff. But yeah, it was definitely fun. It was packed, a lot of people, a lot of festivities. So yeah, everyone was hyped for the game.
Yeah, no, it was exciting. So, you're LAFC Hawaii. You're definitely gonna have to check out Christmas Tree Lane whenever you come down. It's amazing, especially when they have all the sponsors and everybody hanging out there. And a lot of those guys and a lot of people that I know there were there since like 12, which is crazy. Pretty much spent half the day.
Yeah, I remember even when we did live in Los Angeles, because like I said, my wife was pregnant. I remember everybody always talking about it, and I'd be like, "Yo, we ain't got to go to the game. Let's just go to the tailgate, and then we can leave." She's like, "I'm not going to do that to you," but yeah, yesterday on Spaces we talked about it. The energy from everybody being back on Christmas Tree Lane and being able to tailgate. You sort of felt that through the TV, right? Like, because we were talking about how loud it was in the stadium. Because on ESPN Plus, you felt that yesterday. You felt the energy. You felt, how excited the fans were in the stands, and it was really nice. And then, of course, all the guys were saying, "Oh man," because the tailgate was off the hook, So I was like, hey, there it is. Everybody got a little sauced up. I'm not mad at it,
The crazy thing and the cool thing, Heineken was giving out to people that are 21 and up, you have to have a wristband, but they're giving out Heineken beers, like the cans.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so that I think you would have to pay for one, but then they had the promo girls. They were handing out Heineken beers.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I was working. JP and I were working. We weren't able to partake this time.
But I was just about to say, that's one thing. You're working all the games, so you don't really get all like sauced up a little bit. Right?
I think it's against the guidelines. I think it's against the media guidelines to do that. And plus,
just
I know
they're sticking like Heineken, like, hey, what's up?
I know way too many people to want to do that. If I went as a fan, which I have gone as a fan. I've pregame and drank and stuff like that. But like as media, they hold you to a different standard, and you're not allowed to do that.
I understand.
Yeah,
you want to lose that pass?
Yeah, definitely not. It's not. I mean, it's not worth it. I can have drinks afterwards, so
that's right.
It's no big deal. But yeah, let's talk about the game. LAFC, obviously 3-game win streak. They ended up beating RSL 2-1. It was not an easy game. RSL was always a tough opponent for LAFC. And I think that makes it interesting because we know the history between these two teams, especially when LAFC did lose to them in the first time in the playoffs. But they always play LAFC pretty hard. I want to look at the lineup here. I'm just going to pull it up real quick, and then we'll go through the lineup. And here, let me pull it up right here. So if you guys can see the lineup, obviously we have Romero, Kim Muwan, Segura, Murillo, Farfan, Edwards, Blessing, Cifuentes, Atuesta, and Rossi. Obviously, nothing. I don't think anything changed from the lineup from the previous game. I mean, this lineup has been doing pretty good. And obviously, it was RSL. JP, what were your thoughts on the lineup in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I think this whole season that Bob has rolled out with consecutive identical lineups. So it was definitely good. Gives the team continuity. The same feel. You can grow together. Edwards played a great game. Farfan did his job at the left center back spot. I thought it was Murillo's best game. I don't know if I was following him specifically this game when I was up there, but his defensive work was great this game. These are my three middle, regardless if K is back or not. I mean, I think we should roll out with that starting three in the middle, and then Rossi and Vela looking way more comfortable than the beginning of the season. They're kind of finding their groove. So, yeah, it was a good first half, good game, good starting lineup. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean they played pretty well in the first half, and obviously LAFC. What are your thoughts so far with this lineup? And obviously they've been winning consistently with the lineup.
Yeah, so I was happy that we didn't change the lineup because Bob. That's one thing that he's been doing. Of why people mostly were worried about what Bob was doing at the beginning of the year because he wasn't being consistent with the lineup, and I like it. I'm a person that actually wants the 3-5-2, or as I said here, the 5-3-2 to be our formation for the rest of this year. Just because I like if Farfan is over where Edward is, like Moon and Farfan being up, and even Edward showing how well he played this last game. He's had two actually really, really good games in this formation. I'm also like JP, Blessing, Sifu, and Antuesa. That's my middle. I don't want to really see K there unless he comes in around the 70th minute. And then, again, Rossi and Vela, I mean, you really can't ask for more from them these last three games, in my opinion. Vela's been doing a lot better. I mean, look, you can ask for more because you want him to hit that penalty kick and not hit the bar, but he's all over it. And so I'd much rather that than him – either one of them running with their head down and not feeling confident in their ability.
Yeah, no, I think the surprising thing about the lineup as well, it's Raheem Edwards, obviously Kim Moon and the job that he's been doing, and he keeps getting better and better. But yeah, overall, I mean, if you're LAFC, you have to be excited with the great job they've been doing. Obviously, the consistency, obviously, and the players that are performing well. You said, I know JP, you talked about Murillo and the job he did this game. Unfortunately, he's going to be out for this next game. But let's talk about Diego Rossi. Obviously, he got the goal in the 10th minute. JP, what were your thoughts on that goal?
Yeah, it was a quick goal. LAFC really put the pedal to the metal at the beginning. They had the double save by Ochoa at the header, and then Rossi played a nice one too with Sifu. Usually maybe at the beginning of the season, the way Rossi was playing, he wouldn't have tried to make that play, or maybe he would have missed it because he kind of was unlucky at the beginning of the season. But he placed it well. It was an early goal, so maybe everybody at the stadium was like, okay, the floodgates are going to open, and it's going to be maybe the first time LAFC scores 3 in the game because of how early it was and how of a punch it was. But it didn't happen like that, which we'll get into. But yeah, no, Rossi's getting his groove, and Rossi, we need him to be good to be able to win a MLS Cup and get back into the real discussion of contendership.
Yeah, he's definitely looking a lot more and more comfortable, and I think that's what you want to see from Diego Rossi. Hawaii, before I get it to you, I just want to say what's up to a couple people in the chat. Celso says what up. LAC Kui says what's up, guys. First comment on the lineup post summarizes everything. And I want to play the goal. So here's the goal.
90-minute guy. He's played 90 minutes in both victories.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Rossi!
Golazo!
Fifth goal of the season that leads the team. You saw it coming. LAFC sprung a leak. And Diego Rossi made no doubt about it. LAFC 1. Real Salt Lake 0.
It doesn't get better than this. A la Iniesta with that move. Nice little pirouette here, and he starts carving up a little space. Look at this. So comfortable. Low center of gravity. Quick exchange. Sifu one better with a quick combination. Golazo. This is champagne football at its best in LA.
Mamma mia, that is fantastic. And give the assist to Sifu, his second. How about that replay?
I mean, just seeing the replay, you really get to see how clinical Diego Rossi is. And the thing that I find so impressive about Diego Rossi is when he gets the ball, he does a little turn, and then he like, it looks like he's tapping the ball just like to himself slowly. And then he's just so smooth with it. Like the ball like kind of just sticks to his feet. and obviously passes it to Sifu. Sifu knows what to do. But give me your thoughts on that play.
I mean, the announcer said it's champagne football right there at his best. I mean, listen, like, it's true. It's Rossi being Rossi and having that little touch to make a person think that he's passing it or running with it by himself, and then passes it to Sifu. Sifu with the one touch just in between them, and Rossi does what he does. It's so actually elegant. It's a great goal, and it's a great confidence builder for Rossi to be able to do that, right? Like, we need, as JP said, we need him to be confident. We need the best of Rossi, and I love that goal. I thought it was great. I mean, look, if Vela doesn't score that goal, then we all say how great of a goal that is. But Vela's just, over pushed the line of what a good goal is, right? So, but you can't take away from how important Diego Rossi is to this team, and it was just a great goal.
Yeah, and I think that we're starting to see Diego Rossi get more and more comfortable. LAFC BNG podcast says time machine goal straight from 2019. Yeah, it definitely looked like the old, obviously 2019 Diego Rossi scoring that goal. Like I said, he's so clinical, and I like how he plays, and he obviously, you can tell he's getting more comfortable, and obviously the goals are going to start coming. Let's talk about the second half, and obviously Carlos Vela, because Carlos Vela, he had a lot of opportunities. He probably could have had maybe three goals, potentially four. I know he had the crossbar, he missed the penalty, but he got the goal at the end. JP, give me your thoughts on Carlos Vela.
Yeah, I mean, he's finding his groove. This is like the first time I can really say that he wanted the ball. He looked really comfortable. He wasn't timid. He didn't feel like, oh, I can pull something at this moment. He felt fully within himself. He took players on. And that's the way he's a leader on the field. He doesn't need to be screaming. He just needs to be involved and make the plays, and then everyone can sense his confidence and grows with him. Yeah, I mean, he missed the penalty. I don't like it when players do that run-up. If they're going to do that run-up, they already know where they're going to place it, and it kind of didn't seem like he knew where he was going to place it. He thought Ochoa was going to move and then fool him like that. So I don't like that run-up necessarily. But, yeah, I mean, that was a banger, the way he stopped it with his chest, just laid it off to himself, and it was a banger. But, he hit the post twice. Ochoa had one of his best nights of the season, I'm sure. So, yeah, if it weren't for all these factors, maybe Vela would have gotten another one. But yeah, he came up big when he needed to and gave us the victory.
Yeah, no, he definitely came up big. Even the good thing is, like, right, even when he gets shut down or misses a PK, you want to see your leader still go at it, right? And he didn't give up on this game, or get frustrated because he didn't get that penalty. Hawaii, what were your thoughts on Carlos Vela?
So I also agree that the goalie had probably the best game of his life. He was just on point, right? Like, you even seen him at the third minute shaking his head because of the goals that he just had to stop within that 30 seconds. Like, it was pressure on him the whole night. But for Vela, I just feel like, some of it's been a little unlucky, and he's hit the crossbar a lot. But as you just said, the difference with what Vela did on this last game is he never did put his head down. He constantly looked like he knew that he was going to get that next goal, right? And that's what we need from our DP, from our captain. Like, we need that Vela. The confidence in him constantly, got more and more, and you felt that even through the TV. You constantly felt that. And when he missed that penalty, it was like, okay, all right. And he never put his head down, which is something I really liked. I'm not a fan of the stutter step either. In the spaces we've talked about, if you're stutter stepping, you're really not confident in this shot anyway. But I think because the goalie was having such a good game that Vela almost didn't know where he did want to hit it. So that's where the stutter step came in. But I like that you never seen him put his head down, and he still felt like he was being confident in Vela. Right? Not like Vela the 6th and 7th game, like the Vela now, you know what I mean? And so it was something I really liked seeing. And then, of course, the banger, what can you ask for? The celebration after was something that we haven't seen from Vela in a long time. Him pumping it and like looking at the crowd and yelling. It's just, as a supporter, is something that I want to see from our captain a little bit more, and it made me happy. I'm in the back room yelling. My wife's like, "Yo, calm down," because I'm just jumping, because it was great to see from Vela,
Yeah, no, and I actually got the goal here.
El coreano sacando el centro, va para Vela, controló de pecho, el disparo, ¡qué golazo! ¡Gol!
Decía golazo, ¿no? Porque cómo deja entrar el balón, ¿no? Ahí el pase de Kim Moon-wan, ¿no? De lado a lado, le dan a las espaldas a los defensores, ahí se vuela Donny Toya, ¿no? Que es el que prácticamente en lugar de ir con el perfil, completamente le gana la espalda. Qué bien la baja Carlos Vela y prácticamente no tenía ángulo, realmente hace lo indicado, pegarle hacia arriba. No, es imposible para David Ochoa reaccionar estando tan cerca, ¿no? No, qué golazo de Carlos Vela.
I mean, another world-class finish. I mean, I just want to see the goal. Obviously, also in the Spanish broadcast. I think when you look at that and they show all the angles, it's like almost an impossible angle, and that's the only way he probably could have scored. And he just takes it off the volley and it goes right in. And I think that's what's so impressive. We haven't seen a Carlos Vela type goal this season. And I think this is the first one that we've been so accustomed to seeing, all these fantastic goals that you're like, man, how did he score that? And he finally scored one this season like that. And I think that's also what we've been missing from Vela. And obviously it's always a great thing when he gets to do it in front of the 3252, right? He's like yelling, he lets all his emotion out. He's excited and everything, and it's such amazing goal, because from the press box we're literally right on the other side, and I was like, how did he make that? And like, it's hard to see it, and then obviously you catch the replay and you're like, wow, like, you forget how talented he is, even though we see him every week, but like when he does something like that, you're just like, how? You know what I'm saying?
I will say that is the one advantage of being home, getting to watch, because you get all the replays.
Yeah, that is definitely an advantage.
Yeah, a lot of the guys in the space was like, I didn't even get to see it go in, right, JP? And so it was like, oh, I got to see it. They showed it like 7 times on replay, so we seen it from all angles, and well, I know we're going to talk about Moon in a minute, but you can't help but to know about Moon's buttery assist right there. I mean, it was just a beautiful pass, right? So
yeah. LAFC Kui says, I still get chills watching that Vela banger. I mean, that's what a player like Carlos Vela does. But like you mentioned at Hawaii, JP, let's talk about Kim Moon-wan. The guy just keeps getting better and better. I was talking to Steve. We were both talking to Steve Hahn, who covers the Korean national team, and he said he's never seen this from Kim Moon-wan. So he's also very surprised. And this is a guy who's followed Kim Moon-wan's career for pretty much his whole life. And he said he's also very surprised about the way Kim Moon-wan has been playing with LAFC, because in his previous club in Korea, they were more defensive minded. So he didn't really see the more offensive side of Kim Moon-wan. But JP, what were your thoughts on Kim Moon-wan in this game? JP, did he freeze? I think he might have froze. But we'll go to you, Hawaii. What were your thoughts on obviously Kim Moon-wan?
So I'm like a huge Moon-wan fan, right? Like he's became one of my favorite players on the team. I just feel like honestly he could have had 4 assists in that game. He had a couple. Sifu missed that one. The kid has all heart. He doesn't give up at all. And the passion that you feel through his play is unbelievable. And even in the press conference that they shared with Vela, and Vela talking about Moon-wan, is him saying, I didn't know what to expect from him, but this has been like basically a breath of fresh air, like on the team. So someone knocks him to the ground, you see him get fired up. You know, when he puts the assist right where it needs to be and they don't score, you sort of see him get a little angry, like, I set you up with a butter, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, listen, that's why I'm a Rossi fan, right? He goes 100, 110 all the time. And that's what you get from Moon, you know. And it's sort of their culture to be that way, you know, and he's brought that here, and I appreciate that, and I respect that. And for me, he's became one of my favorite players. I just think, like, you know, he has speed. His ball ability is amazing, and I just think, like, we're gonna really miss him when he has to go off to the World Cup. LAFC will feel that.
Yeah, but don't look. Let's not get too far ahead. Let's enjoy the moment. Let's enjoy the moment.
That's true. That's true. But it's the reality. He's gonna go, and it's gonna be difficult to not have him there. You know.
Yeah, no, you make a great point. But I think to that, you know, you mentioned about, like, when he put RSL, the players on skates, and, you know, he got past them, and then he put the ball right in for Sifu. And I was surprised Sifu missed that, because, I mean, that would have been potentially goal of the week for sure, maybe goal of the year, I don't know. But it, you know, I'm so impressed how offensive minded he is, and how he's able to take on defenders. Because he's not obviously
even surprised that Sifu missed it. If you see his face, he was like,
it was. I mean, it was so far right. He didn't have to hit it that far right. But you know, going back to Moon, the thing about Moon is just like, man, like you just look at him, like, maybe offensively, like, is there anything he can't do? You know what I'm saying? Right. He can get past defenders. He can give you a pass from 30 yards out to Carlos Vela right on point. But yeah, so I mean, he's been very impressive.
It was just beautiful.
Yeah. JP, give me your thoughts now that you're back on Kim Moon-Wan.
Yeah, sorry, I just glitched out, so I just decided to turn my laptop off and restart. But yeah, Moon has been the breakout star for this team. You know, the formation change kind of just seems like it's because of him. Ultimately, he's just so much better at the right wing back position. You know, the first games he was subbed on, I was like, okay, he's offensive, he likes running up, but he didn't really show what he could do with the ball at his feet. And this game, he really showed what he could do. You know, he just never gets tired too. It's not just like it's not just that he's offensive. He never gets tired. He always runs back. Like we said, that Sifu miss could have been, you know, the goal of the year, goal of the assist of the year, whatever. But yeah, I mean, Moon is definitely one of the most important pieces on the team right now. And then when we signed him, I said good, because he was 25 years old. You know, this is more of the signings that LAFC kind of need to do. Not just go straight for youth all the time. You know, you need someone who's seasoned enough that you know, is not going to feel like a rookie, but has future to be potentially sold in the future, and be a team leader, like Vela said, when he came in, like, the first week. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and like even like today in the press call, Carlos Vela, you know, to your point, Hawaii, he said that, you know, he didn't know that. I'm paraphrasing here, but he didn't know that Moon had this type of quality in him, you know. And obviously, how could you, right? He's a player coming from South Korea. Obviously, no one really knew too much about him, but I mean, he's just been able to be a breakout. So I'm pretty sure LAFC did not even know this from Kim Moon-Wan, because, you know, if talking with Steve Hahn, you know, He's comes from a defensive team, right? You're expecting to get like a defensive player, but, you know, it kind of flipped the switch. He's more offensive, you know. He has a little bit more offensive versatility, and that's perfect with them, and especially with that 3-5-2 formation. I mean, it works perfect for him, you know. So obviously now with it's going to be interesting to see, right? Now with some of the players that they got B-Rod back, and how he fits into the mix. With this lineup, you know, so that's going to be interesting. But before we get to B-Rod, I want to talk about you know, the new player, Cristian Arango, the striker from Colombia. Obviously, JP. Obviously, this is a big thing for LAFC. I know they've been talking about you know, getting a striker or needing a striker. Obviously, when it's a Colombian player, you know, obviously LAFC has a number of Colombian players, South American players, so this definitely makes sense. They asked Bob Bradley today, so there's no timetable for Cristian. I think they're still sorting out some deals, Bob said, but yeah, I mean, it looks exciting. Looks like within the next couple of days or by the end of the week, LAFC can have their striker. What are your thoughts on this potential signing?
Yeah, like you said, I asked Andy, who's Colombian. I was like, "What is he? You know, how good is he? Is he the real deal, or is this just a panic signing for the number 9 spot?" And he said, he's a skillful. He's given the 10 because of how skillful he is, but he's ultimately a goal scorer. So I see him kind of like a Rossi, who technically came into the team as a 9, but was shifted to the wing. So he can. I feel like Arango can either adopt the 10 or the 9 spot, so he could switch off and be fluid in the team. Like I said this move gives the team a lot of more fluidity in formation making. They can play the 4-3-3. You can plug them in still at the 5-3-2. You can even play a 3-4-3 like Chelsea, having up top and then with Rossi and Vela behind him. So it's just a great move. He's young, but with experience. He did come from Benfica. He has European experience, and yeah, he's that player that we can plug in immediately, and ultimately give us that big push to the MLS Cup, and gives us a lot of depth too. If B-Rod stays, which we'll get to later, but with B-Rod and him, that's amazing depth up top.
Yeah, it's definitely a amazing depth, and I also wonder like how this formation is going to change, because I don't know, right? If you bring him in, and it looks like it's definitely going to be a TAM deal for Cristian, but I think how do the interesting, right? It's a good problem to have for Bob Bradley, right? Once they do get him, but does he go back to the 4-3-3? Right? Obviously, if Cristian comes in, it's looking like he'll be the starter. But where does Brian, right? Where does Brian fit in all this, right? Because I think that's the more interesting question, and I think we'll see if he plays tomorrow. But Hawaii, what are your thoughts on this future signing for LAFC?
Okay, so I don't know much about him, so I've been trying to do some research and reach out to some people that are fans of him. But I know in our chat we have LAFC Portugal, which he's a Benfica fan. And Benfica signed him, but he's never played for them. He's always been loaned out. So we couldn't get much information for that. So I was doing some research on the team that he's coming from, and they're not too happy that he left. So I reached out to some that speak English, and they were basically saying what JP said. They were like, look, he can play at 9 and he can play the wing. So that made me happy because this is the truth, man. Like, us as supporters, we've been asking for a 9 this whole season. And now, truthfully, we're playing a system that we don't really need that 9 because we are doing the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2 or whatever, and it's working. So if we want to continue that, as JP said, we can, have him come in as a sub or rotate a little bit and still keep with that 3-5-2, which is something that maybe we need to do because, as we've said earlier, like Moon really and Farfan are good with the 3-5-2, right? So we don't really want to mess that up too much with two people that have been so helpful in the last 3 games that we've won back to back, right? So, but I did watch his highlights. He's not like super fast or anything, but he scores bangers. I mean. That's what we need. We need people that are going to score right now because we do need a couple of games where we have 3-4 in the net. Like in 2019, right? Because we haven't had that. We're a 1-goal game, 2-goal game maybe. So it would be nice to to run it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be interesting. So I want to get to a couple of foot. Says Arango, a new dynamic piece for a stronger 5-3-2 formation, taking us into October. Chicho. Yeah, no, I think to me it's like I don't want to look too far into this, but I also wonder what does this mean for Rossi, right? Is because LAFC could potentially be getting prepared for maybe a departure of a Diego Rossi, and then they bring in another piece. Right, and it could be Cristian, and then Diego Rossi could be on his way out, or it could not happen during the season. But I think that's what makes it a little bit interesting with that, because with Cristian being added, you got Carlos Vela, obviously Diego Rossi. and then the other piece to that is Brian Rodriguez, right?
Mm.
And I think that's the thing that's going to be interesting, right? You're going to have 4 players there. How are you going to fit all 4 players into, obviously the 5-3-2 formation, or, go back to the 4-3-3. Those are only 2 essentially formations that we've seen from LAFC. But nevertheless, this is going to be a great signing for LAFC. This is what all the fans, everybody's been asking for. But obviously, because they've played when they were playing the 4-3-3 formation, that's what everybody felt that they were missing. Now they're not even playing it because they're having more success with the 5-3-2. So I think that's going to be interesting for LAFC moving forward. And a little bit more on the deal, I think I'm reading here. So they're gonna buy him with the 20% sell-on fee for his previous club, Millonarios. So that'll be interesting to see, obviously when he does come. But I think the main thing, right, is they're not going to be spending crazy amount of money. I think it was about like 2.2 million that was reported. It's nothing crazy, right? So, and I think he's going to be he'll definitely be on a TAM deal. There's no way. I know a couple people had asked me on Twitter if he was going to be a DP, but I was like, there's no way, because they already got three DPs on the roster. So I think that the interesting thing about all of this is, LAFC's rolling. So how do you get B-Rod in? How do you get Cristian in to keep the momentum going with all these guys, right? So you're definitely adding a lot more pieces. Now let's talk about Brian Rodriguez, because that is the guy to all this, right? The $11.5 million man that the LAFC played the transfer fee. Obviously, he's back with the club. He came back last week. He was on the bench for them. He was available for them. So I'm assuming he's going to be available for them. I'm assuming he's going to get some playing time in tomorrow's game. JP, what are your thoughts going into this game for B-Rod?
Yeah, I think he gets minutes. Maybe he gets a start, maybe, but I don't think so. He definitely will get minutes. He'll definitely come in at the 60th, 70th, the latest. Get his touches in. He made an Instagram post saying he's happy to be back. But then today, the rumor from Uruguay came out that his agent is in LA trying to negotiate his a loan out to Peñarol by request of the Peñarol president. But LAFC Uruguay in our spaces said this journalist kind of isn't the most reliable source, and he's kind of the only one spewing it out. So I don't really think so, because if not, B-Rod ultimately could have easily stayed in Uruguay and negotiated this deal out. He didn't have to come if he didn't want to. When Vela celebrated, he was there, hugging him first. It's not like he was just walking, at the back of the pack. He seemed happy that Vela scored. After the game, when the players that don't play, they do their sprints on the field. He went to go sign autographs. So I mean, he feels happy back. I feel like he wants to be here to some degree. But yeah, I mean, I expect him to get minutes tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I think that's the interesting thing, right? And if you're B-Rod, you kind of right to your point. When these things come out for B-Rod, I think it's always interesting because of whether it's the agent, of Peñarol, and to your point, how trustworthy is these reports. I did ask Bob, and Bob says I was like, he pretty much just shut it down. He's like, I don't follow any of the reports of Uruguay, which I highly don't believe that, because I know he definitely follows that. So he just didn't want to touch on it. So because obviously they're trying to integrate. So I thought it was just very interesting of the Brian Rodriguez news of the Peñarol president or whatever wanting him on the team. So because it's like, I know B-Rod made the post of he's happy to be back and stuff like that, but at the same time we have to see, right? We have to see when he's on the field and obviously how he is moving forward, right? Because to me, like I've been very critical of him because I didn't think what he showed previously wasn't good enough, especially for the high price tag that he came with, and and especially where he's from, Uruguay and everything like that. I think he deserved to give a little more. So I'm giving him a new clean slate. His second time. I feel like everybody deserves a second chance. And B-Rod definitely deserves that. So I know I think it was you or Back in Black, Hawaii, that said like he's going to be on a shorter leash, but like he's going to have to come in and make an impact right away, because he is a DP player. He is getting paid a lot of money. So we'll see how much truth to these rumors really is. because I think that's all going to rely on his play, right? If he's going out, he's playing hard, then you can just put away the rumors. But if he's playing like Daisical or is not giving his full effort, because you can tell how if a player wants to be on the team by how they play. You can do everything on Instagram, you can do everything, with the fans and everything, but it's how you play on the field. So I think that's what I'm gonna pay attention with Brian Rodriguez. But Hawaii, I want to get your thoughts on the B-Rod situation.
So this is my thing about that. He's doing all the right things. Okay, during the Shalalas, he's out there jumping with the boys. The TV cuts over and shows him on the bench.
Are we losing you?
Can you hear me?
Losing him?
I hear him.
You hear him? I think it may just be me. Why are you there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So for me, I feel like Brian has a really bad agent, to be completely honest with you. No, and I mean, I really do.
I agree.
I feel like he's killing this kid's career, to be honest, right? Like, he's out there, he's doing the shalalas with the guys. He's doing his sprints. He's writing the right stuff. Now that he's here, he's looking like he's happy. All we can go on is what Bob's saying. He's saying he's happy at training or whatever. But Brian posted that, right? He gets here, he puts it out that he's happy, and then the next day his agents, he wants him to go here. Same thing that he did when he wanted to go to Serie A with Torino. It's like, let the kid play. Quit putting this stuff in his head. And the problem that I have with it is everybody knows Peñarol was the team that he had been talking about that he wanted to go back to because he was loved. Then he gets here to LA, and now you're going to bring up about Peñarol wanting back. It's a bad look. And then now it's going to be in his head. So if something happens that makes him unhappy at LAFC, first thing he's going to be, I'll just go back to Peñarol. The president wants me. It's just bad. You know what I mean? This kid really does have one more chance before people just start writing him off of, he's just bad, bad business. And I feel like he came in, he's trying to do the right thing, and this guy is just setting him up for a lose situation. And maybe somebody just needs to be like, you got to get rid of this dude. We got to find you somebody else that's going to help your career and not kill it.
Yeah, I think it would be a litlittle bit of both, because Brian Rodriguez, he's also gone on television with Almeria. But I'm with you. I don't think the agent is necessary, but I think the agent does what the player essentially kind of wants. But I think the agent and him are kind of on the same page, right? On some of these things, right? But like with Brian, the thing has always been like, he was so excited to go to Europe, even though he wasn't ready, right? And then he never talked about coming back to LAFC. He talked about going to Peñarol. So It's just interesting, So I think I'm with you, but I think it's 50-50. It has to be 50-50.
But it's like JP said, why come back? If you knew that this was going to
because you're getting paid $1 million. Because if you don't come back,
I understand
that check is not going through.
You're going to leave again. You know what I mean? Like it's just sort of weird, bro. It's just sort of it's the soap opera of Brian Rodriguez, and we all have been watching it for now almost 2 years. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Here's the man.
Kui got some more information. Kui is always great. He says more news. Brian would only be loaned to Peñarol only if they pay a loan fee, which Peñarol can't afford. Makes sense, yeah, because initially it was thank you, Kui, for that. But initially it was going to be a free loan, and I was just like, wait, what is a free loan? That's just not, a loan is not free. You got to pay. It's not. You have to pay something, right?
So basically, give us $11 million and then give him back to us for free, and we'll just take your money. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, dude. That does. Yeah, that makes no sense. So it's like I don't know what they're trying to pull a fast one, but yeah, no. I mean, for Brian Rodriguez and for LAFC, this is they got to make it work. I mean, I think a lot of pressure is on LAFC to make it work, whether it's Bob or John Thornton. But I think for Bob, like he said all the right things, and now it's going to come down to Brian. I think it's really going to come. It's going to come down to Brian, right? And like I said before, I'm going to give him a clean slate, but he has to show it to us, that he is, that high, quality Uruguayan type of player, international player that people are going to want. Because if he doesn't prove it this season or this time around with LAFC, however long that may be, his career can really be in jeopardy. You know, if it doesn't go the right way, and LAFC could definitely be out the money, or he can he can mature. I don't know how quickly he's going to be able to mature within these next couple of weeks, or next couple of months with LAFC, because I mean LAFC is competing for a championship, right? And if Brian doesn't understand that, or is not focused yet on winning a championship with LAFC, then he's going to hurt himself, but he's also going to hurt LAFC. But got to keep the positive vibes out there, and we'll just see what happens, because I will judge him after the season and to see what happens. But you're DP, you got to come in and you got to make an impact.
Now that you're here, we want to just see you work. We don't need all the other drama. Let's just see you work and do what you do best. That's all.
Yeah. Go ahead, JP.
I think Bob can pull like a power move and then start him on Wednesday to, like, I guess, kill the rumors off. And be like, he's here to stay.
But where? Let's talk about that. Sorry, where would you start him though? Because I think that is the interesting thing.
You switch back to a 4-3-3 because
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Don't think so. Big.
Don't do that, JP.
Nah. I don't think you start him. You don't start him.
Don't do that, JP.
But you can't do it. No, that'd be a bad idea. But go ahead. I want to hear your take though.
I mean, because the first 3 years, it was always Bob playing the 4-3-3, 4-3-3, 4-3-3, and never straying away from it. And then now, if he ultimately repeats the 5-3-2 come playoff time, and we play Seattle, their coach is gonna figure it out, because he always beats Bob in a tactical battle. So we need to always go back to the 4-3-3 and be able to still mix it up, because if we become reliant on the 5-3-2, it can end up being overstudied, and they'll figure it out. So I still think we need to be able to mix it up, and I ultimately think the best formation for B-Rod is the 4-3-3, with Rossi and Vela up top. That's just me, and then especially because we don't have Murillo, we just play with Segura and Blackman, who are both center backs, and it's and then Chiqui at the left back and give him his start again. But yeah, I mean, that's my reasoning. Maybe we do that against Vancouver, easier team.
Okay, but, I mean it's a take, but I don't know if everybody's gonna agree. But
no one's gonna agree. We all want the 3-5, or Bob calls it the 3-4-1-2. But we'll take that.
Tell us why you don't agree with JP's take.
I don't want to mess with it right now. I want to stay with the same guys. I know Murillo is out for the Yellows. So you do give Palacios or Blackman. It's been sort of the debate within our spaces today. Foot is really for bringing Palacios in. Then you have others that say Blackman because of the height. But I just feel like right now we need to stick with it. If we do bring him in like the 60th, 65 or something, fresh legs, fine. But to start him after everything that's been going on and him being gone for so long, I think it would be still a really bad idea. Okay, he said one game, and now we're going to start in the next. It could really, I said it last on your last show, it could really kill the locker room for that too, because some of these guys earn that spot. That's just the reality. They've earned it. And so I want us to stay with the 3-5-2.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I think the reason why I'm giving so much pushback, JP, is because it's worked. And I think, CeeLo says right here, it says 4-3-3 is too exposed. The opponent will know or play like the first few games. And I think the 4-3-3 is like every team knows LAFC has played it, because that's what they've played essentially for almost 4 years straight, right? And now we're seeing something different. It's obviously it's working. Obviously it's been, a couple of games, but I think right now, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Obviously, and I think the interesting thing for me is like where does like when he comes in, when B-Rod comes in, right? Who does he come in for? Does he come in for Diego Rossi? Does he come in, right? Or does he come in for a wing? Or does he come in for Cifuentes? Because those are the midfield or forward spot up top is where I'm seeing B-Rod. Is where I'm seeing Brian Rodriguez come in, because I don't know where else you put Brian Rodriguez, and I think that's going to be the interesting thing, because I think the thing that what I remember vividly about Brian Rodriguez, he really struggled in the 4-3-3, and especially he was obviously he got the good assist, but like the finishing was his biggest struggle on the 4-3-3 formation, and obviously he never got a different look. We never got to see a different look from B-Rod in that 4-3-3. I think 5-3-2. I want to see what Brian can give you in this formation because it's a lot different. It's a lot different, and he's not going to have to play. It's not, he doesn't have to run as much, and I think it just makes it. It makes me want to see Brian playing this formation because okay, show us what you can do. Show us what you can do with all that. And obviously the team is rolling. But yeah, I don't think you start him. I think you bring him in because if you start him, I think that's too much pressure to start him and play. He hasn't played. I don't think he's played 90 minutes since he was last with LAFC.
Three months.
Yeah, so I don't think in Almeria he played 90 minutes.
No, he only played.
He started,
huh?
He started, but he would always get subbed out, so you never finish.
Yeah. So I'm talking about it's been probably since October of last season because even in CONCACAF he didn't play 90 minutes. So yeah, right. it's been a minute for him. So we'll see. I'm very interested where Bob puts him in and how he uses them. But I mean, things are rolling for LAFC. You just hope that B-Rod can also benefit off of that. So I want to
think it depends on the score of what it is that when he comes in too, right? So if it's a big score, or if Vela looks tired, he might come in for Vela and it'd be Rossi and him out there. You know what I mean, or vice versa, because we do have that game on Saturday, right? So I think it all depends. But you definitely have a good point about who he comes in for. It sort of would be interesting to see him come in for Sifu and have him sort of in the midfield area in that 3-5-2, because, I mean, he has great assists. He can pass the ball really well for the assist, so that would be pretty interesting. But most likely it's going to be for, probably Rossi, I bet, unless Vela's just tired looking.
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty spot on. A couple of people in the chat are saying, yeah, don't break what ain't broken. The chemistry is there on the 5-3-2. Why switch it up for a player that hasn't been here? And then we also got Foot says, imagine Janela, Tuesta, B-Rod last 15. Bob can rotate them into a 3 front with Rossi and Vela. Okay, yeah. I like that. That's interesting. I could see that. Yeah, no, I like that too. But if Brian comes in, and I don't want Bob to switch the formation for Brian. I really want to see Brian in the 5-3-2 because I've already seen him in the 4-3-3. I don't want Bob to switch it up because I think I want to see how B-Rod does in the 5-3-2.
I mean, imagine the 65th minute you do what Foot just said. I mean, that would be pretty good right there. You get completely fresh legs in the middle like that. You still have Vela and Rossi out over there for them to get the ball to. I mean, I actually really like that right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, Foot makes a good point on that. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting game tomorrow. They're also going to be on turf too. So yeah, maybe Vela doesn't play the full 90 minutes because it is on turf, right. And maybe Brian gets more playing time, but maybe gets 20. Maybe I can see him getting 15 to 20 minutes max.
Yeah, I agree.
Max. I think that's the max that we'll see for B-Rod potentially tomorrow. But yeah, let's talk about the game tomorrow. Obviously, they're facing Portland. JP, what are your thoughts on LAFC going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, every time I feel like I come on here, it's always like LAFC's next game is a test. It's a test. But yeah, I mean, last game was the first game where it felt like LAFC was back, of years past, dominating, having 29 shots. Ultimately, we didn't finish any of them. But we dominated with the 5 in the back with the new formation because the last 2 games against RSL and Austin, we were outshot and outpossessed, but we would win. We never felt in danger, but the stats didn't back it up in a way. Against the Timbers, you go to Portland on turf in enemy territory with their stadium the way it is, how it gets. It's going to be another test, to make it really feel like LAFC's back. The Timbers are right under us. So yeah, it's not like it's the bottom of the table. The turf definitely affects the way it is. Ultimately, if we come out with no injuries, then I feel like it's a win. I feel like we can win. I feel like LAFC should go out there and get the 3 points. This is the game they should win this week because I feel like Vancouver's is easier on paper. They're coming off a win last week or this weekend though. But yeah, I mean, I think we should get the 3 points against Portland.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Hawaii, going up against Portland tomorrow?
I mean, Portland's always a difficult game for us, right? Like we just have, Carson's is our rivalry, but it feels like Portland is a lot because our games are always so chippy, But they have a lot of injuries right now, also, so they're going to have to rest a lot of people, which might favor LAFC a little bit. Playing on turf is playing on turf. It's not something that I really think any team wants to come and do. MLS needs to change that, make them all, real grass. But that is what it is.
I'm with you on that, 100%.
Yeah, it makes the game not as fun to watch sometimes. You know what I mean? Because it's a little bit more sloppy and the ball bounces weird. You see the guys seem a little timid at times on certain plays that they wouldn't be so timid on grass. But Portland. I mean, look, Portland they're a good team. I mean, they always are a good team. They're just right now they have a bunch of people out and they're hurt. So LAFC should play well and we should win this match. We're sitting in 5th place. Really, we're tied for 4th with Colorado, with them having one. So we're 1 game difference. They've only played 12. We played 13. And we're 3 back from Carson. So this is an important game. We need them 3 points. Listen, that's another reason I don't want Bob to change the formation. We go back to that comment, don't fix what's not broken. So let's roll with it. If they start figuring out the 3-5-2 in the middle of the match, then change it. Put him in, go to the 4-3-3. I don't care. But let's start with the way that we've been playing these last 3 games, and let's do our best to get this 3 points.
Yeah, no, completely agreed. I brought up the standings. Obviously, we see LAFC in 5th with 21 points. You got Portland in 7th with 16 points. I mean, you talk about a win for LAFC, they could potentially jump up to 3rd place with the Galaxy, depending how the Galaxy do tomorrow. Obviously, I'm not sure if Colorado plays tomorrow. I'm assuming they play tomorrow.
They play Dallas, and then
they play Dallas. Okay,
and then LA Galaxy RSL. So. Yeah, they both. Well, I don't think Colorado will drop points, but LA might drop points, and that can.
Who does Carson play?
They play
RSL.
RSL. And then they played Vancouver in Utah this weekend, so they've been there this whole week.
Yeah. So I think that when we look at the standings, obviously LAFC's moving up. All right, so it's like this is I was expecting them to be obviously not top 3. Looks like they could be well on their way here with the next couple of weeks, but obviously it's gonna be a tough game, tough road game tomorrow. So we'll see. Obviously, even if they could get 1 point, I mean you take it, right? Because you're away. It's gonna be it's always a tough game, over there with the Timbers and stuff. So I'm assuming that it's gonna be a packed house. Out there, so I mean they always have a great atmosphere over there with their fans. So we'll see what happens for tomorrow. Score predictions, JP, for tomorrow's game.
2-0. 2-0. We win 2-0.
2-0. Okay. Hawaii.
3-1.
3-1.
Nice.
These are some bold predictions. I like this.
No, it's not bold, this. Boy. When I hit that, you just write me and say, "Yeah, you got it, Hawaii." 3-1. I feel like Vela's gonna show up tomorrow, and then Rossi's gonna get another one. So yeah, I feel like Vela got 2, Rossi got 1. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I like that. And Moon's gonna give all 3 assists.
Okay.
There we go. Look, Moon is very capable of doing that. I got a comment here from Soccer Guy. He says, Kim Moon can be a potential MLS star if he keeps up with the good assists to his teammates and scoring goals with Vela and Rossi. Yeah, I mean, he's probably gonna make it in the MLS All-Star team, to say the least. I mean,
we're pushing for it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a Vela on my list, but but I did have Kim Moon because of the job he's been doing, the consistent job he's been doing.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see him being in the All-Star game. I mean, regardless, Vela's going to be in the All-Star. He's too big of a name to not be on that roster. So Vela's definitely going to be on there.
Maybe if he makes it, Bob don't play him that much, so he can be rested up for that Carson match.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Bob was going to be the coach. Bob was going to be the coach.
Moon will make that jump when Arango gets in there, because last game he made like 2 or 3 passes to the penalty spot, but there was no striker to finish it.
Yeah.
So Arango's gonna fill that void in, and then that's when Moon's assists are just gonna rack up.
Yeah, it was awesome on his interview when he was like, Vela did me a solid by putting that assist in because I've had a couple of opportunities and no one put it in for me yet. Like sort of saying, dude, I have set y'all up. Just come on, get it in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's been setting up a lot of people. So, yeah, I mean, I like Kim Won-Won's play and everything they've been doing. So, but yeah, I think any final thoughts, guys, before we sign off?
Just this is an amazing week where LAFC can go undefeated. Hopefully we keep the win streak going. If we ultimately, I just don't want to lose this month. So yeah, I mean, everyone's looking better. Everyone's looking more confident. The team is finding their groove. There's finally transfer rumors. B-Rock Cheeky came back, and then we have this big transfer rumor at the number 9 spot, which is like the last piece to the puzzle that we need. So yeah, I mean, it looks like LAFC is only going up from here.
Yep. No, I'm with you.
That's right.
Hawaii, final thoughts?
No, I mean, off of that, like I've said, I've complained a lot about the front office not making enough moves, and they're giving us what we want. We complained about Bob not switching up formations. He's gave us what we want. So there is no complaints with what we're seeing from our club right now. This is what us as fans and supporters want, to put the best guys out there, not because they're a favorite of, the manager. So like JP, I want us in this month, winning them all. And it's a real possibility, or at least to get points on every single one of these games. So that's pretty much where I'm at. And I just hope that we keep up this good run, because I know we can with the quality of players that we have on our team.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are doing good, so we'll see if they can continue the winning streak tomorrow in Portland. So that's gonna wrap things up, guys. For you guys listening, join us every Tuesday. We talk LAFC, we talk black and gold. So that's gonna wrap things up for Hawaii. For JP, this is Gio. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye, everybody.